Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning back into Retro Restoration Garage. So today we are just about to go and look at a new project that could be featuring on the channel. This is a Rover SD1, and it's actually a historic stage rally car, and it looked very, very interesting indeed. It's something I've come across online. I have spoken to the guy who's selling it. I've had a good conversation with him, and he's happy enough for us to head over there today to have a look at this car. Now, it is quite an interesting car. This has been sat for many, many years. It's actually been sat for over 20 years, and it hasn't been started during that time whatsoever. So it is definitely going to need a lot of work, but it looks solid. It looks like it's all complete, and it looks like a very interesting project. It is running a 3.5 V8, and it's also fitted with quad 48 Webers, so that thing should sound pretty immense when we do get it to start. It's got a fully seam welded shell, it's got a bolt-in roll cage, it's got all the gizmos and gadgets back from like the 80s, all the sort of rally lap timers and all that sort of stuff going on in there. It's got a baffled sump, it's got a LSD rear axle, it's got a massive spares package with it as well, including lots of wheels and lots of spare panels and stuff like that. It has been stored in a barn for the past 20 odd years, so it is very, very dusty, but that is just how we like them. So yeah, we're going to head over to Macclesfield now to have a look at this car, see if we can make a deal with the guy and see if we can get it back to Retro Restoration HQ, where we will see if we can actually get this thing running and get it driving for the first time in over 20 years. So let's head off down to Macclesfield now, and I'll see you over there. I think it's this next one. This could be the spot. Guessing it's in that barn. All 205 there as well.
I know, you know. Who's on point nine? He'll can't be chapping on it.
These are wheels that I've gathered over the years. I've no idea what they're on. Well, they're all odds and bits and pieces. Yeah, they're all now. These wheels all belong to. They're all the forest, slicks, wets.
So they all belong to this.
They all belong to the 20. All belong to the Rover.
The old Compomotives or something, or Revolutions.
They came with when I bought it. They all came with the cars.
Like an old set of revs, then.
But I've
Revolutions.
I've never used it on time. I've only ever used it on loose. And there's two types. It's on forest suspension, obviously, but there is. That's the old PV. Yeah, that's the old PV. The old yeah.
Yeah, well, not one.
Can't wait, can you, Tom?
That way. It's the body's
Old civvies.
Yeah. I've not. He converted into civvies. All this is rads. They're twin 900 rads. It's all stuff that you forget you've got. I'll see on the log, but about 30 years, yeah. Because I bought it from Yorkshire. I was down in Bletchley then at that time.
When was the last time it actually ran then?
Can't remember exactly, but competitively then. But then we used to run it every year to a little show down the Goresworth. We used to have a big car show every August, or a couple of times we used to go out, and we used just to fire it up and run it down and drive it around the bloody.
So it's probably not ran since about 2004.
It's run after that, but competitively, no.
When was the last time the actual engine was
I can't remember.
started? That long?
Well, I've got to be. I'm not. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should be half an event to get used to the bloody thing, because you can't go out and you need a bit of loose.
Got to get a feel for it, aren't you?
Yeah. Honestly, that's. I'm just hoping everything.
Red Dragon Rally.
Eh?
Red Dragon Rally.
Yeah, it was part of the HRCR challenge. That was it went off, didn't it? It went off in Waters Arena. It's a man-made arena down in South Wales.
Been open for a while, has it?
Oh yeah. Well, that's what they are, isn't it? They just
solid though, isn't it?
Yes, it's all solid. It's all solid. It's all well, need to be, don't they? I want to put loads of stuff in to keep some of it. So, because it got so bloody expensive, and every year there was something you had to get.
Like the sticker.
Oh, they're taking a piss out of me. There's another one on the other side, something similar.
Thought I'd get this on just because I think it's cool. This big boy out. Proper machine. I'd like to have a go in that. Every day you see one of those. Right, so we have done the deal on the car. As you can see, it is there behind me. So I'm going to give you a little walk around this now. This is a true barn find. As you can see, I am stood in a great big barn. And there she is. The old Rover SD1, 1981. Historical stage rally car. This was last used in 2004, so it's been sat here for a good period of time. Covered in dust, just how we like them. Check it out. A little look around the back.
Yeah.
What a cool thing. Take for a little look inside, and then I'll show you under the bonnet. As you can see in here, properly rigged out. Just turn the light on for you. Now we have all the timers, co-pilot speedo. Oh, the history in here is just incredible, isn't it? Proper old school. I mean, it wants a lot of work, guys, don't get me wrong, but what a cool thing. You just don't come across this type of stuff every day, do you? Oh, it's got the hydraulic handbrake as well. That's not attached. Bucket seats. Bloody hell. What have we got in that? The steering column's loose. That wants sorting. No speedo on the driver's side. Just a rev counter. But what an awesome thing. Comes with lots and lots of spares as well. Massive spares package with it. It's got all perspex windows apart from the front, which is laminated. Not sure what that light is. Maybe it's a gear shift thing. Rev limiter type thing. I can't wait to get into this. I'll say we have done the deal. The car is now ours, so this is going to be featured on the channel. I'll take you for a little look under the bonnet. Check that out. That's an old 3.5 V8 with quad 48 Webers bolted in there. Got some homemade manifold on there. We do have the original twin SUs in the boot as well, and for simplicity I might actually put the SUs back on there and show you the reason for that. Oh, they've even got a spares package with it as well, so this is all the tarmac set up. So we've got all the shockers, brakes, cross member, and back there we've got all the rears for the tarmac stages. It's currently on its gravel stage setup. Massive spares package with it. Loads of bonnets and doors, and a massive pile of wheels at the back there as well, all tarmac tyres and all sorts of stuff. Now the reason I'm thinking of putting the twin SUs back on it, just for simplicity, is because we do have clearance issues here, which is why the trumpets are not fitted to this rear carb, because the trumpets are actually contacting the servo, sorry, the master cylinder for the clutch and it's probably going to be very, very close to this pedal box setup as well. So yeah, I think for simplicity we might just bang those SUs on to get this thing running. This is going to make some cool footage. Got the big civvies bolted in the front there as well. These civvy, the Super Oscars, I think so. But yeah, check this out. Proper barn find. When we say barn find, this is actually a barn find. And then while I'm here, I'll just show you this thing here as well. This is an old Volvo 544. This car's actually for sale as well. If anybody's interested in this, feel free to hit me up on the email in the description. I can put you in touch with the guy. It's not an expensive car. This is looking for about £2.5 grand for this. I was very, very tempted to buy this and do a will it start video on it and give it its first wash, but it is in quite a bad state, to be honest, guys. I think I just don't have the time to do this one on the channel. It needs too much work for me. As you can see there, quite a big hole in the floor. He says it does, or it did drive in here, so it did run. And to be honest, I believe him. Very, very nice chap, this bloke who's selling these cars. It's kind of let us film in here as well, which is always good. Covered in years and years of dust. What a cool looking thing though, eh? This will make someone a really, really good project. There is quite a bit of rust in the back there as well. And across there. But for somebody who's after something like this, again, my email's in the description, guys. I can put you in touch with the man who's selling this, should you wish to come and have a look at it. I'm sure he'd be more than happy for you to come and have a look. And yeah, he just wants this gone now. It's sat here. It's not doing it any good sat in this barn. There's quite a few holes in the roof appearing in here now, so yeah, it's probably a good job. These cars are now being moved. But for now, I'm just about to arrange the collection for this one. So let's get this picked up. Let's get it back to HQ. Right guys, so we are back at Retro Restoration HQ with the car. That was quite a struggle to get out of that barn. The problem was that skid steer, that big tipper with the tracks on, was actually in the way of getting the car out, and it wouldn't start. We couldn't move it, so we actually had to go through the side of the barn to get the car out. It was wedged in between a couple of steel girders, and we actually had to cut a piece of steel out to get the car out sideways. So we had to come in with the truck, pull the winch cable right out, pull the car sideways in between the steel beams, and then winch it out the side of the barn. So that was a bit of a mission, but she's back. She's now here on the truck, ready to come off. So can't actually wait to get into this thing. Really, really looking forward to this. It's getting a bit late now, but we are going to try and get a couple of jobs done on this tonight. Before we do that, we've got a little bit of moving around to do. And I'll just spin you around. So as you can see, the unit is currently full of other cars. This van is completely getting in the way at the moment. So whilst I've got that big 7.5 ton recovery truck, I'm going to drop the Rover off onto the ground here. I need to load this up onto the van, take this to my storage yard, not too far away from it, it's only a couple of miles away, get that out of the way, and then I'm going to load the Black Manta up onto the back of the recovery truck, and I'm actually going to take this home and stick it in my garage at home out of the way. For now, that then means we can get the Rover inside, because I don't want to leave this outside. Weather's really bad, it's going dark quite early now, so won't be able to get much footage outside in the yard. So let's get this off, let's get that on, get this down to the yard, load that up, and get that inside. Right, so that is all the moving about done, and the car is now back in the workshop at last. That took a hell of a lot longer than I was expecting it to, and it's now 11:30 at night, and I've been at work since 7 o'clock this morning, so I've not got much left in me, guys. So we will pick this back up tomorrow. I was hoping to get some stuff done on this tonight, but time just got away from me. It's absolutely chucking it down out here. I'm wet through, I'm cold, and I'm hungry, so we will pick this back up in the morning. Well, there we go. The car is now at Retro Restoration HQ. It's over the pit, and we're going to start going through this tomorrow. At this point, we don't even know if the engine's locked up. It's been sat for many, many years, so we're going to see if this will turn over tomorrow. We're going to see if it's got a spark. We're going to see if we can get these carbs sorted out and get some fuel to it, check all the levels, go through it all, get some new plugs, new leads and all that. See if we can actually get this thing to start. Now, a friend of mine actually owns quite a lot of property and farmland in my local area. So the plan for this is, when we get this up and running, I'm actually going to see if my friend will actually let us use some of his farmland to take this around and give it a bit of a thrashing. So that should make a really good video. Once we've got this up and running, we'll see what this thing can actually do, and we'll take it for a bit of a test drive and do a little bit of rallying with it. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you keep your eyes on this one, because this should be quite an interesting project. But for now, I'm going to get myself home, get some sleep, and we'll come back to this in the morning, and I'll see you all very soon. Right, so it's now the following day, and as you can see, we've actually got some daylight now, so we can see what we're doing. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start to move any loose bits of stuff like this just out the engine bay. Anything I can see that's loose, you know, some bits and bobs like this going on. Once I've got all the loose stuff out of here, I'm just going to push it outside into that spot there, and I'm going to give it a good cleaning off and a good jet washing, and give it its first wash in about 20 years, I think, something like that. It's not been washed in about 20 years. So yeah, it's probably full of all sorts of rat droppings and rat pee and all sorts of stuff, so I don't really fancy working on it as it is. So let's get it out there, let's give it a wash, we'll get it back in, and then we'll start to run through the basics with checking for spark, fuel and all that sort of stuff, and we'll see if we can get it running. Right, so there we go. It's now washed off, and I've got to say, it's looking a lot better for that quick wash we've just done on it. And at least, if nothing else, it's now de-spidered, because there was actually a lot of spiders in there, and I'm not a fan of spiders. So at least it's now clean. We know it's not got loads of spiders all over it, and it's just a nicer thing to work on. So I think the next thing we're going to do is start to get all this stuff from inside of it, so I can actually see what I'm dealing with in here, because there's just stuff absolutely everywhere. So let's get some of this cleared out, see what we're dealing with. I have noticed here that there is a key up on the dashboard, but I've also noticed that we don't actually have an ignition barrel. So when I bought it, I assumed that obviously we had the isolator switch there. So I thought it was just a case of banging the isolator key in there, and then I would assume that this is the ignition on and that is the push start. But now I found them, I'm thinking, maybe it's not. So yeah, I'm gonna have to dig all this stuff out, and maybe we might come across an ignition barrel in this stuff. If not, I do have a van full of parts yet as well that have come with this car, as we shown when we was down in the barn. I've not actually took that out of the back of the van yet, so I've still got all that stuff to go through. But for now, I just want to get all this stuff out, see what we're dealing with, and I'd like to get a battery put on it, see if we've got any sort of power, check the oil level, check for a spark, and see exactly what we're dealing with here and what we're going to need to do to get this thing running after 20 years. Now, I've just emptied all the stuff out of it from the inside so we can see what we're dealing with. And to be fair to this thing, it actually looks really solid in terms of rust. There's not any rust on it at all, really. Here's all the stuff that's come out of it. We've got the original plenum and twin SUs. Now I'm thinking I might put these back on to get the car running, because currently it's got these quad 48 Weber setup on it, but the car's never actually ran with this setup on, and there's still things like the throttle linkage that needs to be finished off. We've got this pipe here that needs to be made for the coolant, and then the trumpets don't actually fit in there near the brake pots, so there's quite a lot of modifications that still need to be done to get these actually to fit. So I'm thinking I might just put the original back on just to get this thing up and running for simplicity. I'm actually considering taking these stickers off as well. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments. Would you leave these on, or take them all off and just have it as a blank canvas, or do we leave it on because it's part of the car's history? So let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think regarding these stickers. So here's some of the stuff that's come out of it. We've got lots and lots of bits and bobs. This is just what was in the car. Still do have a van full of stuff to go through yet as well. I've got a full long wheelbase Sprinter van full of parts that came with this car. I need to go through all that and see exactly what's in there. I have come across a couple of cracks on the shell as well. You can see there, obviously it's had some stress as it is a rally car, so stuff like that's to be expected, and we'll be going over the whole car structurally once we've got it up and running. But the main thing for now is, will this engine actually start? So that is what we're going to be concentrating on, to see if we can actually get this car to run for the first time in around about 20 years. Now, what we're going to start with here, I think, first off, I'm going to do the obvious, and I'm going to get a bar on the crank pulley. I'm going to see if the engine will actually turn over. If it's, make sure the engine's not stuck. We'll then just dip the oil, make sure we've got some oil in there, just enough to be able to try and crank the engine over. We're going to put a jump pack on it, and then we'll see what lights up, see if we've got any power, figure out what does what, because at the moment I don't even know how to turn the ignition on in this thing, because there isn't an ignition barrel. We have got some loose wires dangling down here, and I'm hoping that's just for the lights and indicators and stuff. Oh yeah, look, yeah, that plugs into that, so that should be quite simple. Now, the thing that's concerned me is, when I cleared the car out, I've actually found these keys. Now, obviously I don't have an ignition barrel, so no idea where them keys go. So I'm assuming that it's this bunch of stuff here. So we're going to have an isolator switch there, which I don't actually have a key for, so I'm going to have to try and bypass that, or just push the prong down inside just to power it up for now. And then I'm guessing this will be the ignition, and then we have a little push button there, which I'm guessing will be the starter motor. But then again, we have got other switches here like this, which could be the fuel pump. So again, I don't have a clue what any of these switches do at this point. So yeah, I think we're going to put a battery on, figure out what the switches do, and then once we know what the switches do, then we'll see if we've got any spark, and I think we'll take it from there with trying to spin it over and stuff. But first things first, guys, let's go and get a bar and let's see if this engine turns over. Right, so I've measured this up. This is actually a 24mm inside this crank pulley. Let's see, moment of truth. I get it on the nut. Come on. Ooh. Yes. It's a bit crunchy. Oh. Yes, it turns over. Now that crunchiness is just the belt and the alternator by the sounds of it. Yeah. There we go. But yes, she spins over, guys. That is a good start. So at least the engine isn't locked up. So, next thing, let's get the jump pack on it. See what we get to light up. Right, so we've got the jump pack clipped on, ready to go. Now, just before we power this up, just in case it does decide for some random reason that it does actually want to turn straight over, which I have my doubts about, I'm just going to check the oil level. Look at that. That's actually really, really clean. That's like brand new. And it's bang on the money as well. Doesn't even smell bad. Doesn't even smell like fuel. That's surprising. Right, okay, so we're all good for oil, and I've actually just managed to go and borrow one of these from my friend around the back who has a HGV garage. This is a key from a tail lift on a truck, which I'm hoping will be the same as the isolator switch, what is in the car. Let's see if it fits. Yes. Right, so that fits. Let's knock that back off a minute. Let's turn the jump pack on. 12 volt on. Oh, this is a tight squeeze. Ow. Right, so at the moment we don't actually know what any of these switches or buttons do. So as I said earlier, I'm assuming this stuff in the middle will be the ignition feeds and stuff. I'm guessing that's a fire extinguisher pull with the sign at the side. I have noticed there's a random switch down there and I've no idea what that does at this point, so I'm going to go and have a look at that shortly as well. That doesn't seem to want to turn on. Do we have any lightage? Nope, no power there. No power to the wipers. Not a good start, is it? Alright, let's see what happens when we flick this on. Absolutely nothing. Nothingness. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh, hang on. We're not turning the isolator back on. Oh, right. Let's try that again. Oh! Yep. Right, so that is the fan switch. We have power to this little timer over here. Do we have any lights? Something's clicking. Wipers? No wipers. Flashers? No flashers. Oh, hang on. Hey, the dash is lit up. Right. Nothing on that. Right, okay. Not a good start because we've got no power to pretty much anything on the steering column. Right, so we've got some digging to do. Well, it's not going to be as easy as before, is it? Right, so it appears that we've actually got an ignition barrel missing from this car, and I was hoping that everything was on the switches, as I was just showing you in the centre of the dashboard there, but it appears that's not the case. Now, I've had a quick look under the dashboard, and you can see under there that there is a lot of loose plugs. So I'm guessing that those plugs are the feeds for the ignition barrel. So it looks like I'm going to have to go and get the van and get all the spare parts out of the van because there's boxes and boxes of stuff come with this car that we've not actually gone through yet. So I think we're going to have to go and get all that stuff, get it out, and fingers crossed that we've actually got an ignition barrel in one of those boxes. We can get that installed, get it plugged in, and then hopefully we might actually get this thing to turn over. Right, so I've just realised something. We've got Callum here giving us a lift tonight, and Cal's just spotted something pretty important that I'd overlooked. Now what I've been doing, if you've seen earlier on, I've been getting this plug and plugging it in to that plug there. So basically I've been going with that into that. So I've been plugging that and that in there like that. Now you think that would be right because those are actually the same shape, but what Cal spotted, which I overlooked, is that there's only one row of pins in that and there's 2 rows of pins in that. Now if you look up there, actually we have the 2 plugs here which they should go in. So I'm going to let Callum plug these in now, and let's see if we get any ignition and see if this will actually finally turn over.
That goes in there.
Are we in? Oh, check that out! Right, turn it off because the fuel pump's running. Now we need to find out if there's a separate switch for the fuel pump, but that's alive. It's alive. Where's the fuel pump? We could do with cutting that fuel pump feed off.
Is it not a switch?
While we try and see if it turns over. But yes, that's a win. We're getting somewhere. Right, so we're guessing that the fuel pump is underneath this panel here. We're just going to pull these spare wheels out and see if we can get access to the fuel pump, because I don't want the fuel pump running away. We're also trying to see if we can get this thing to actually start up. Well, that's all bolted in, that frame. Check that out. That's a decent setup, isn't it? Right, so there we have the live feed. Nice and simple. Unplug that. And now we know we ain't going to have any fuel pumping around while we're trying to get this thing started, because I can already smell that fuel and it absolutely stinks. And it's definitely some 15 or 20 year old fuel. At least it's easy accessible. Knock the top off. You can siphon it out. Or saying that, we may as well just disconnect the pipe at the front, haven't we?
Yeah.
Run the pump it into a drum. Right, so that's disconnected. Suppose now we can turn the ignition back on and see if it turns over. What we're saying?
Yeah, okay.
Let's do it. So we've already checked the oil level, so we know the oil level's good. We've cranked the engine over by hand, so we know it's not stuck. So all we're doing here now is actually seeing if it'll turn over on the button, and then we can start to check for a spark and stuff.
Ready, yeah?
Get up here, see if it spins. Oh yeah! Yeah! Yes. Progress. Right, so let's pull a plug lead, see if we've got a spark. Right, pick a lead, any lead.
Go for the easiest.
Rip it out on that bolt. Yeah. Let's see if we get anything. Spin her over. Didn't see it out. No. Let's try direct from the king lead, I suppose. Set that one. It's that one. We need to check for 12 volt of the coil really as well if it doesn't spark this time. Nothing. Just turn the ignition on and off, see if we get a pulse spark. No. Right, let's see if we've got 12 volt at this coil to start with.
Nada.
Nothing.
No.
Let's try go on the other side of it. we've got no power to the coil. So if we jump the coil with a jump lead, put 12 volt into that coil, and see if we get a spark then.
Yeah.
And at least we know the coil's good, and we're just chasing the wiring from there. Yeah. It won't surprise me if there's some sort of kill switch somewhere.
Start the spark.
That's cutting the ignition feed, like some sort of weird 80s immobiliser.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, they used to like put them on fog light switches and all sorts of stuff back in the 80s, so you couldn't find them. Right, so because we don't have any 12 volt feed to the coil, I've got a jump lead from the battery, and I'm just going to pulse the coil now. Cal's got the king lead, a spark plug plugged into the king lead, and I'm just going to jump this coil now and see if we get a spark. Yes, we do. You can see that. Right, so at least now we know that coil's good. So we're now chasing. In fact, if we put this on there permanently, right, let's plug that back in. We'll put this on there permanently, and then we'll crank the car and see if we get a spark through the actual plug leads. Right, try again. Yeah, we got a spark. Do it again. Yes. Right, so all we need is a 12 volt ignition feed to that coil. Right, so we can't seem to get a feed at the coil, a 12 volt feed at the coil. So we've changed the ends because the terminals were quite corroded, still no feed. So what we've done, we've just put a piggyback loom in. We took a 12 volt feed from down here to the coil. So we now have the 12 volt to the coil. So we're just going to now see if this will spark. All right, give it a whirl, Cal. Yep, very slowly though, do it again. Yep. Yeah, we got a spark, right. The engine seems to be turning over quite slowly, so we don't know if that's down to a weak starter motor or whether we've got a bad engine earth or what's going on. But obviously, we have only got a small battery on there as well, so this little battery's trying to turn over 8 cylinders, so that's probably not going to help. However, we have got the jump pack on it as well, so I would have thought that should have been enough juice. So chances are there's something else going on here, and I'm not actually sure if that is going to be enough cranking to actually get this thing to start up. I think what we're going to try now, just for the sake of it, because we can, is spray a little bit of fuel down these trumpets in each one, put this plug lead back on, and just see if we get anything at all, so we can get some sort of a tune, some sort of a bang or anything out of it, and see what happens. So we've got a bit of a petrol mix here. Now this is actually mixed with a little bit of 2-stroke. It's a mix I had for one of my motocross bikes that I've just put in a spray bottle. It's not going to do it any harm, so I've got a little bit of oil in it. If anything, it'll do a bit of good, because at least it's going to lubricate the cylinders. A bit of juicy in. In that one. Oh, it's running back out, that backfires through them carbs. This is going to set on fire. I'm just letting you know that now. I've got a form with this type of stuff because I did this on that Forenza and it backfired through the carbs and set on fire. So I'm going to get a fire extinguisher ready. Fire extinguisher at the ready. I'm going to stand back a little bit just so I don't get spat with a flame. Try it. Oh, try it. Yeah! He's going to run. No way. It runs. It's alive. All right, albeit for a couple of seconds, but we know it's actually going to start, so that is good news. So that means now that all we've got to do is try and get these carbs plumbed in properly. I think we should actually start with getting the fuel drained. So if we disconnect the main feed to the carb, or the main feed, yeah, it's just there, isn't it? So that's the main fuel feed there. We disconnect that, pipe it into a drum, turn the fuel pump on, pump all the old fuel out, get some fresh fuel in it, connect the fuel pipes back up, and this thing should run on its own fuel, on its own steam. Right, so Cal has gone off to get some fresh fuel. We've drained the fuel out of the tank. We've took the sender unit out. We've made sure the tank is actually empty. There is a little bit of junk in that tank, as to be expected, but overall condition isn't that bad. There is a little bit of rust on the sender unit, but I have also noticed there is a new sender unit in with the part. So while Cal's gone, I'm going to make us a cup of tea. And then we're going to get back to it. Right, so fresh fuel has arrived. This is a bit of a mad spot for the fuel filler. Is this original? It looks original. I'm guessing that's where they are on all these cars, but I've never noticed that before on these. But then again, this is the first one I've had. So there we go. First can going in. What we're going to put both of these cans of fuel in, and then we're going to run a litre or two through the system to flush out the fuel filter, the lines, pump it into a drum. And then we know that the lines have got fresh fuel in, the filter's got fresh fuel in, the pump's got fresh fuel in, and then we're going to go for a start-up. So we set this drum up, we've had the pump running, but it doesn't appear that there was actually that much fuel in it at all. In fact, there wasn't really anything in it. So I'm hoping that this tank was actually drained before this car was put into storage. Either that, or the fuel pump don't work. And I hope it's not that one. $10 litres of fresh fuel in. Let's pump some through the system. Alright, you ready?
Aye.
Anything coming out? The pump might be knackered. That is a noisy pump. Don't sound like the pump's picking it up. Because the pump's normally quieten down when they pick the fuel up. So we determined that the fuel pump isn't actually working. Well, it is working, but it's not pumping fuel. As you can hear there, it is quite noisy. And these pumps, these facet fuel pumps, normally quieten down when they pick the fuel up. This isn't doing that. It's just running away really noisy. And the car has come with a couple of spare fuel pumps. So we're going to swap this one out now, and hopefully this one will pick up some fuel. Now, the one that's here is used, but I'm hoping it actually works. So we'll swap it out and see what happens. So, new fuel pump fitted. We blew the lines out as well. Drum still rigged up. Battery lead on. Let's see if we get any flow. Ready?
Yeah.
That sounds like... Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That sounds a hell of a lot quieter and all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it coming through clean?
Yeah.
Right. Yes, we're getting somewhere. Right, so we're going to get a couple of litres out of this now, just to flush the filter and the lines out, as I said earlier. And then we're going to reconnect this and see if this thing will start. So that is all the fuel pipes reconnected. Now, obviously, we don't know the history of this, and we don't actually know how far they've gone with fitting these carbs, so we don't even know if we're going to have any leaks or anything at this point. In fact, I'm looking at something right now that tells me we are going to have a leak. I think we need to deal with that first, don't you? Yeah, I think we better try and connect that up first. Right, so it's a moment of truth now. We've got the fuel flowing, we've piped it up. It was actually missing this banjo bolt from here, and we haven't got one in the spares that come with the car, so we've actually just took it out of the clutch cylinder that's not even piped up yet anyway. That was loose, and we've just managed to make it fit. It's not perfect, it's a little bit loose, but we put some copper washers on there, and we're hoping that this is going to seal. So we're just going to pressurise this system up now, check for any leaks, and then we're going to go for another startup on its own fuel. So here we go. You can hear the fuel going in.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand over here somewhere. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Short-lived. Let's try again. See if we get a bit more of a run out of it this time. So go on, Cal. Let's do it. I've got it. Runs. We've got somewhat of an idle as well. Right, knock it off, go. So there we go. It runs. Can't run it for too long because obviously we've got no coolant in it or anything and we are on old oil. But it definitely runs. Got a lot of tweaking to do, a lot of messing about to do. Obviously we've still got to fit the trumpets. These cars are not even set up. This is the first time, I believe, that this car's actually ran on this carb setup. The whole reason the car was taken off the road in the first place was to fit these quad carbs. So this is actually the first time it's been fired up on them. So that's a win. I'll take that all day long. So this is when you know a car has definitely not ran for about 20 years. So we've just had this running, as you've seen there, and I've just walked to the back of the car after we've turned it off, and this is what I've come round to. This, absolutely piles of it, has all come out of that exhaust. So I think that exhaust box might be a little bit past its time. Now, question for you. Which way do you guys think we are best going? Do we continue on and get these quad carbs fitted and finished off, or do we go back to the twin SU setup just for simplicity? If it was your car, which way would you go about it? Would you carry on with this and do the graft and get these fitted and tuned up and dialed in, or would you simply remove all that and plunk the SUs back on? Because obviously at the moment we've got some fitment issues with the trumpets against the clutch booster, or the clutch master cylinder. So we're going to get this fastened in, get the trumpets on. We've got to try and fit the air filters on these carbs, pipe the brakes up, pipe the clutch up. So on the next episode, we're actually going to try and get this not only running, but driving. We're going to do a full service on it. We're going to drop all the fluids. We're going to do the gearbox. We're going to do the diff, go through it, make sure it's safe. We'll probably have to strip the calipers off because it is quite tight to push at the moment as well. Free the calipers off and have a bit of luck. In the next episode, we'll be driving this around the field, or at least around the yard. So stay tuned, keep your eyes out for the next episode. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, give us a share. We'll see you all in the next video.